The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The death toll from the C-130 plane crash in Paticul, Sulujas on Sunday has climbed to 50. Let's get more details from Pat Mangune. She reports to us live from Mandaluyong City. Pat, good afternoon. What is the latest from the armed forces? Are they done with rescue and retrieval operations?
Charles, all those killed and injured in the plane crash have already been accounted for, but the AFP still will continue its investigation into what caused the incident. In a presser, AFP spokesperson Major General Edgard Arevalo said all protocols were followed based on initial details. These include the approaching speed and landing spot. Investigators, however, still need to gather data from the C-130's black box and the control tower. This will hopefully determine what caused the plane to overshoot from the runway, crash, and catch fire. They will also consider if the weather and pilot skills were a factor and if the plane was overloaded or not. The aircraft was transporting new privates who just finished their training in Cagayan de Oro. The AFP maintained that their C-130s are the sturdiest in the inventory of the military service. These are used not just in military, but also for relief operations, including the delivery of COVID-19 vaccines. Although not brand new, the C-130 that crashed still had 11,000 flying hours before its scheduled maintenance. For now, the AFP's 4 remaining C-130s will be grounded pending the investigation results. So far, all 96 of the soldiers on board have been accounted for. 49 of them are now being treated. At least 47 of them have been found dead and are now being identified through forensics. 3 civilians on the ground were also killed, while 4 suffered injuries. Charles, the AFP assures the public of transparency once they concluded the investigation, and they also vowed to provide all the necessary benefits and assistance to the victims. Charles?
Thank you, Pat Mangune, reporting live from Mandaluyong. Senator Manny Pacquiao's list of alleged corrupt agencies did not come as a surprise to the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, or PACC. In today's Laging Handa briefing, Chairperson Greco Bellica said that most of the cases presented by Pacquiao are already being investigated. Bellica noted that coordination with the senator is needed in order to identify which particular issues he wants to be investigated. Pacquiao flew to the U.S. on Friday to start his training for his upcoming fight against Errol Spence Jr.
Paano namin malalaman kung ano ba talaga doon ang tinutukoy niya? Baka kasi yung tinutukoy niya doon, iniimbestigahan na po namin. We need to talk to him. Para rin sa kaso niya, siya dapat ang magpaliwanag doon at mag-prove kung meron talagang korupsyon.
Among the agencies hit by Pacquiao is the Energy Department, which clarified that the issue has already been subjected to a congressional inquiry. Pacquiao claimed that the DOE made private firm IEMOP an electricity spot market operator without public bidding. We'll have more stories after a quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching What News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Health Department is warning against the use of antibody test kits to measure the immunity generated by COVID-19 vaccines. Greg Gregorio reports to us live from Mandaluyong to tell us all about this. So Greg, what explanation did health authorities give for their recommendation?
Yes, also the Department of Health said these antibody test kits might only mislead those individuals who would want to know if they have already generated a certain amount of protection or immunity against COVID-19 after receiving the full dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara explained that after receiving the full dose of COVID-19 vaccine, the body of individual does not only generate an antibody, but it also generates a cell-type antibody which cannot be detected by the antibody test kits. According to Vergara, as of date, there are no validated test kits yet that are able to measure the correlation between the protection generated by an individual and the vaccine that he or she received. Charles?
Greg, what did the DOH have to say about certain allowable delays when you receive the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine?
Charles, in a recent meeting with experts, Vergara said that there are new information from the manufacturers about how long can the second dose of their COVID-19 vaccine may be delayed. For Pfizer and Moderna, the second dose may be given up to 42 days after the first dose is given. And for Sputnik V, the second dose may be given up to the 90 days after the first shot was inoculated to the individual. But according to Vergara, considering that there are circumstances that the second dose may be delayed because the individual might suffered a disease or an illness or might be exposed to an individual, the second dose may be given after 6 months. Charles?
So, Greg, how is the health department planning to improve its vaccination protocols in light of these failed jab incidents recently? I understand that there might be a buddy system among vaccinators. Could you tell us more about this?
Charles, the National Task Force has earlier mentioned that there would be a buddy system in vaccination sites, but the Department of Health clarifies that this is a good recommendation for LGUs who have their spare number of vaccinators. And in a buddy system, the vaccinator might take a break while his or her buddy does the inoculation. But according to Vergara, if there are no spare number of vaccinators in a vaccination site, they have reiterated their earlier call that the vaccination time or work time for each vaccinator must be up to 8 hours, and there should be shifting among vaccinators. Charles?
All right, Greg, let's step back a bit from the COVID-19 news. Let's talk about the allegations coming from Senator Manny Pacquiao. As we know, the health department is one of the agencies that he has singled out for his corruption allegations. What did the DOH have to say as regards the statement that they've been purchasing nearly expired medicine?
Charles, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara insisted that the Department of Health is strictly following the laws of the government, in particular to procurement. According to Vergara, they are only procuring drugs or medical supplies that have a shelf life of 18 to 24 months. But if there is a public emergency, they are allowed to procure drugs or medical supplies having 12 months of shelf life. Apart from this, Vergara also said that they are still waiting for the documents or queries of Senator Manny Pacquiao for them to respond accordingly to his concerns. Charles?
All right, Greg, let's shift over to the situation at Taal Volcano. Do we have any updates on the vaccination of evacuees from Batangas, and how many doses have been provided by the national government for those affected by the unrest at Taal?
Charles, unfortunately, the Department of Health did not disclose how many vaccines have been deployed to the vaccination sites in relation to those affected by the Taal or the condition of the Taal volcano. But according to DH Calabarzon, close to 1,000 families have been displaced to 95 evacuation centers. And Vergeres said antigen test kits and vaccine supplies have been deployed for use in these vaccination sites. Charles?
All right, thanks for those updates, Greg. That was Greg Gregorio reporting live from Mandaluyong. Let's now check in on COVID-19 vaccine stories from around the world. India's Bharat Biotech says that its COVID-19 vaccine offers 65% protection against the more infectious Delta variant. Data from its phase 3 trials also shows that Covaxin is 93% effective against severe cases of COVID-19. Israel is negotiating with other countries to unload its surplus Pfizer vaccines, which are set to expire by the end of July. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said that they also spoke with Pfizer about securing more COVID-19 shots for Israel, as well as swapping vaccines with other countries. And health officials in France are urging their citizens to get vaccinated immediately, as the country anticipates a fourth wave of COVID-19 infections. The European country saw an uptick in infection rates recently due to the Delta COVID variant. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Do visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.